Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first week of the NFL season. It is not training camp. It is not predictions. This is the week. And what I'm doing here on the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show is, if any of my friends have other loves in other teams, they contacted me in the off season, like we did with Kal-El in the exhibition with the Buffalo Bills. But tonight, a dear friend of mine that was in the wrestling business, he beat me up. I beat him up. We did everything, and he's a great guy, but he's also a huge 49er fan. And we are going to preview this matchup come Sunday. And I think he's going to the game. He's a lucky son of a bitch. So let's bring him in here. I got a little marquee here of That's right, ladies and gentlemen, from Central Pennsylvania. I don't know how he's a 49er fan, but we're going to ask him. It's my man, superstar, Dave Daniels. How you doing tonight, Dave?
Hey, how's it going, Bubba? Thanks for having me.
It's going
man.
good.
I'm pumped up. What, 3 days away?
I bet you are pumped up. What jersey you got on there?
Well, I had to, the 170 million reasons why today, Bubba. It had to happen. But it's Nick Bosa. So I had to have him.
I guess. When did you find out that he just signed?
Well, I was actually driving down the boulevard there, heading to my Graham's house this afternoon, and a buddy of mine, a former wrestler actually, Ken Benz, he messaged me, well, Bosa signed. And, of course, immediately I'm grabbing the phone. Car starts going this way off the road, Bubba, because I'm messing with me. What's going on? Because I think I'd heard something, but sure enough, yep, I'm off the road. I'm going this way. I had to pull over. That's a legit story.
That's huge, though.
Immediately. It was. It's exciting because I was worried. I was legit worried.
You were worried?
I made it this far. I was getting there because I kept reading that the Bosas really are about money, and they are stiff. Because we had this with Debo. They had it with Warner, these holdouts that were kind of quiet. Like Debo's was actually a bit louder than most, but they got it done way ahead of time.
Here's a picture of your boy who just signed. Yeah, he just signed a 5-year, $170 million, highest paid non-quarterback position ever in the NFL, and he got $122.5 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Well, that means he'll be there Sunday.
Yeah, and we were practicing for him anyway. Tomlin already spoke of this already in his press conferences all week long. They were practicing if he was already going to be on the field anyway. But the problem is our tackles are not as solid. Dan Moore. I know Dan Moore had a good game against Myles Garrett, in Cleveland, Ben's last game, but they're going to have to get some help. And I don't know if they're going to bring that rookie Donnell Washington in, who's a big load.
He was that first-round pick, right?
He's the fourth-round pick out of Georgia.
Who's the guy who traded up for it first round?
Yeah. So I got some people on the Jim LaMotta says F you, Dave. He's just kidding.
Oh, come on, Jim.
Larry,
I'm ready for it this week.
Yeah, Larry Stryker from Extreme Wrestling, Pro Wrestling, Extreme Wrestling Talk. I always mess that up. He's in. Big Mike's on the house. Benjamin, thank you. Jeffrey Hornberger said, "What's up, Dave?" So.
No, hey, Jeffy. Glad to have you guys. I can't. Oop. Hear me, Baba. I think I lost you, Bubba.
Oh, there I am.
Hear you
Hello.
now.
Oh, my God. It was me.
No, you're all right. I was checking.
Jesus Christ. It's terrible.
I lost
It's terrible.
was when you're doing like the,
Yeah, I must have been doing 800 million things.
You're good.
So, yeah. Shane, thanks. No sound. Steelers are going to win this Sunday. Now, get this score. Benjamin always gives his score 38-12.
Oof. Well,
I know he likes to roll a couple up.
My niece today told me 40-0 Steelers, so it's a little better than that.
Well, God bless her.
Yeah. God bless her. Right.
Yeah. So you did get tickets. Do you know where you're sitting?
Yes. Me and my brother. It's gonna be up there, about the 500s there, but it's good. That's usually where we sat. We've been to the game in 2015 and 2007, so we generally like to get the same seats there. I think it's like 30-yard line. Upper deck.
Oh, I was at the visitor side.
That we have been behind the Niners side, yes. Yeah, that seems to be the easier tickets to get.
Yeah, I used to have section 509 back when I was a season ticket holder. So yeah, I mean, because Pittsburgh, this is the first time since 2014 that, and only the 10th time since the stadium that we had an opener. So it's been a while. So
I'm expecting it to be like that's why new tickets were going to be a bit much because I expect the home opener. People are going to be going nuts.
Yeah, Shane. Yeah, his brother is a 49er fan. Yeah, how did somebody asked me before we get a little bit of previewing this matchup? How did you become a 49er fan?
Okay, yeah, and I get that a lot when I talk about football. It's pretty simple. I remember, honest to God, the first football game I ever watched, or at least remembered, was the Super Bowl with Denver. I think it was 1990, Super Bowl 24 maybe, when the Niners completely blasted Denver 55-10. Well, my dad was a big Joe Montana fan. So I didn't grow up in a household of Steeler fans, although my everyone else is a Steelers fan. But it was my dad, 100% my dad, because he was a massive Joe Montana fan. Yep.
Well, Montana, I mean, hey, 4 Super Bowls, beating the Cincinnati twice, in the drives,
Oh, yeah.
How did your dad feel when he went to Kansas City?
No, I don't think he was too happy about it. From what I remember, I know I wasn't too. I didn't understand it. I remember being a little kid, like, why are we getting rid of Joe? I was maybe 9, 10 years old. But what's something I was going to add with the Niners? Oh, with Montana, that's also why I'm a big Notre Dame fan. So Montana, that's kind of the link there. Yep.
Gotcha. Shane says, my cousin rode with Joe in the elevator in the 88 Olympic trials. No, Burns. Steelers will not be 17-0, and we will have to punt this year. Yeah, we're not going to be 17-0. I mean, there's no way, Burns. I didn't take him. We did our Mega Cash show last night, Burns. I took him 12-5. 12-5. I'm being a little realistic. Just get in the playoffs.
I'd have to look at the schedule.
Yeah. So this game Sunday's 1:00. Hopefully the weather probably a little bit cloudy. I think 70 degrees. It's on Fox. Now, when you're going down, are you going to tape the game or?
I'll have it on DVR. I'll record it so I can. Look at it. Well, I might not. I might watch it again. I might never watch it again though if it's not good. If it doesn't go our way, I'm not watching it again.
Okay, you're going to race it. Okay.
I can't even watch the old Super Bowls that they lost. That Kansas City won and Baltimore.
Okay. Well, we got some people. Steve Schott says the game is going to be a lot harder now that Boza got his deal, and will be playing. It seems. Yes. Yeah. Big deal. He signed too. It almost Superstar almost wrecked when he heard the news. So
I did. Couldn't believe it. I thought I was being ribbed by my buddy, but nope. I wanted to ask you though, with Bosa, because my big thing's been the signing of Hargrave on the offseason. Being a Steeler fan, like what can I expect from him? More of like a run
very
stopper?
Good.
Or?
Yeah, very good. And I didn't want him to leave. I know he went to Philadelphia. Now when he was looking to get his, get a new contract, Pittsburgh could not afford him. There was no way. We already broke the bank signing Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt's contract, and we didn't have the money to. And you guys signed him for like $80 million or something like that. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way in hell we could have. There's no way. Yeah, he was a force. Cam Hayward loved him. He was a force, and with Stephon Tuitt, retiring, and him leaving, that created a big void on our defensive line. So, but we need our defensive line because I pulled this out of the woodwork, and you're going to be happy with this. But on one side, because it's going to be a running back. It's going to be a running back. McCaffrey. He's since you guys had him.
That was another big signing. or trade, I guess.
They're 10-0. They're 10-0
Yeah,
with him.
He literally came in, I think, on 2 days too, and played that game. Started the Kansas City game. No one thought he was going to play, but he's been with Shanahan's offense. He's been like, it took some work off Debo, but that's who. If you have fantasy team, that's who's going to score the touchdowns this year.
Yeah, because
McCaffrey.
I mean, he accounted for over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns
just last year.
Just when he came from the Carolina Panthers to you guys.
I'm trying to think how many games you said. 10 games.
10 games.
10 games, and now he's had a whole off season. 17 games.
And our run
excited.
defenses. Yeah, well, you should be. I would be too. But I'm also excited for Najee. But I know your defense is stout now with Bosa signing. Najee is a late bloomer for me, and the Steelers are late bloomers in not September but November. So it's going to be like Steelers are going to be going 15-2 and making it to the playoffs. Benjamin, I love your positive energy, but I don't know if you roll too many up. But God bless you and thanks for tuning in. Joe Montana is Joe Cool, but Notre Dame. Burns says he'd rather root for Dallas. Well,
ooh,
I mean,
I think we can both agree on that one. But, sorry, Troy. Love you.
Yeah, he's the only one I know that's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Him and Cowboy, but also too your quarterback last year when you guys were going into the and that had to be heartbreaking because getting hurt and then going down to having McCaffrey as an emergency quarterback against Philadelphia.
The worst game I've ever had to watch and sit through because it wasn't that you lost; it's that you had to sit there for 2.5 hours knowing this game's done. It's completely done. I don't know. I'm sure you sat. What was it like as a non-fan of either team watching that game?
Well, you guys were effed because you didn't have nothing, and I knew. I'm like,
and I knew.
You're looking at the emergency quarterback. McCaffrey's going to be emergency quarterback here, and I think he might have took a couple snaps. I think if I remember correctly, but it was hopeless, and that sucks being a fan knowing that you had a great team. But
had no chance.
And it reminds me even like when I was a little kid when the Steelers lost Franco and Rocky, and we got beat by the Raiders. Like I mean, I was a little kid, but
was that a playoff game?
Yeah, that was a playoff game, and that's when the Raiders beat Denver. The Raiders beat Minnesota and won Madden's Super Bowl. So, and Brian Burns says Brock Purdy is good for their system. Jason Cage, brother, thanks for tuning in. Steelers front are going to terrorize those Niners, he says. What do you got to say about that?
Okay, we'll see. The front, like the defensive front. Is that what? Well, I know they got Williams on the left side. The question mark for the Niners in the game is going to be the right tackle because of McGlinchey going to Denver this offseason. So we're starting a guy that hasn't played much. I mean, on and off. So if they attack the right side, it's going to be interesting.
And you said that's the tackle, what, Trent Williams?
Yeah, Williams on the left is real good. He's all pro, one of the best.
Well,
in the league.
he didn't practice as of Wednesday.
No, and he doesn't practice a lot, which is very odd. Like he'll sit out practice during the week, so I expect him to play 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Michelle, thanks for tuning in. Great article about your cousin. Her cousin is the offensive line coach for the Los Angeles Raiders. He had a nice article. It was on social media. BJ Harpster, thanks for tuning in. Jason said, sorry, big star. Benjamin says the Steelers
What's he sorry for?
I don't know. Steelers are better than the 49ers. I'm going to say that because I'm a Steeler fan. Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, and this is all in friendly competition, and that's why, the Superstar, come on. And we did this because this is the first time ever during the regular season that I actually ever did something like this, where people that I know are not Steeler fans and fans of the teams that the Steelers are facing. And this is something that Dave got a hold of me, and I'm like, yeah, it was a great idea. And
cool idea.
Having you come on. I mean, it sucks that Bosa signed at 6:30 before on a Wednesday afternoon. Yeah,
a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen, and I told you I didn't think it was going to either.
I didn't think it was going to happen either, and I was like, oh, maybe we got, because our tackles, like I said, Dan Moore, Broderick Jones, that the number one tackle that we drafted from Georgia that we traded up for. As of right now, he's going to be sitting the bench, which I understand that because he's got to learn the system. And that's
Does
like
Tomlin do that a lot? Does he play rookies a whole lot?
No, he does not.
Okay.
But
I'd
last
heard that
year
before.
he had a little bit to do something. I eventually he's going to get the starting role. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Oh, okay. Craig from Patton. When he thinks 49ers, he thinks Rice and Montana. Well, yeah.
Those were the
They
years.
were, they were.
And
they
I
were
more
good.
or less was a lot of my years were the Steve Young years too. But him and Rice, I thought were just as good as Montana and Rice.
They were
Didn't win
tough.
as many rings, but
Well,
every year they were there.
Well, what was your greatest moment watching your team? What would be your greatest moment watching your team?
As a kid, definitely beating the Chargers in the Super Bowl, 100%. Which that week, the weekend before, I was so bummed because you probably know where I'm going, Bubba.
I know, I know.
Steelers. How do you think you guys would have fared that year against that Niners?
Well, superstar. I was at the Rose Inn. My grandfather was a season ticket holder. It was 4th and 2. I was on my knees praying to God, 4th and 2, and Neil O'Donnell, incomplete pass. And that was the biggest upset. I mean, I was devastated. And we had tickets to go, and I just didn't want to go.
Okay.
But I think we would have gave you guys. I think we would have played you a lot better than the Chargers.
The Chargers,
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
it just wasn't there. You know, Tim McCryer got smoked, by a tight end who ran about
Was
a
that
6'7".
Papuno?
Yeah,
Is that his name,
yeah,
Papuno?
and it hasn't done nothing since or ever
No.
did anything after that.
That's just one game.
So yeah,
Yep.
and my one buddy was a big primetime guy at the time. So
Okay.
and he liked the 49ers, and I know we got an argument one time who was a better primetime or Rod Woodson, and we got in a fight over it. And I took Rod Woodson.
Rod being
'Cause,
him, yep.
Rod that and he could tackle.
Yeah, and he
primetime
actually
can't
I
tackle.
remember signing Rod, and I think it was 97 he went to San Francisco and played there
Yeah.
a year. Maybe 97, 98.
Yep,
I never had a
remember.
problem with Rod. I think he's one of the best ever corners.
Right. So that's your greatest
Yeah.
memory of being a 49er fan is winning the Super Bowl as it should
As a
be.
kid. As a kid.
Yeah.
Recently, probably, I would say whenever they beat the living hell out of Green Bay a couple years ago to go to the Super Bowl. Because when I was a kid, they just couldn't beat Favre in Green Bay.
Well,
But, yeah, that's the recent one.
Yeah. And Benjamin said, as long as the 49ers pass the ball to Joey Porter Jr., it'll be great. Burns says, 49ers defense is good,
Good.
but they're not
Oh,
the
here we go.
60-minute men cower power. Just ask Bubba.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Bubba?
We haven't had a complete game in a long time. We right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not a 60-minute team like they were under Cowher. We start slow. That's why September actually scares me. If we come off strong, because in preseason, the Steelers scored like every game in preseason. I know it's only preseason, but
Sure.
they had their first drive was points. Last year they couldn't
That's-
do that. They couldn't do that the year before. So with you guys, I believe, some ideas to go against the 49ers would be they just, this Calvin Austin guy and Connor Hayward as a fullback. There's going to be a couple trick plays against you guys Sunday. I guarantee there has to be. But
He's
hopefully
smart.
it's not jet sweeps by Matt Canada because
No jet.
Matt Canada.
Now, a lot of people wanted him a couple years ago, right? I remember the hype when they pushed. Who was it they pushed? Not pushed that. I don't want to say it like that. But who was the guy right before him?
Randy Finkner.
Finkner. That's it. And he was
Yeah.
Ben's guy, right?
Yes, Ben's
I
guy.
remember that. Yep.
Yeah, because Ben would write plays in the sand, and
Now,
that's
you
how
said
it
about
was.
slow starts. Now, it's kind of something we have in common because, the last 2 years, that's been the whole Niners, motto this offseason for the team is start fast because they've started 3-5, 3-4 the last couple of years, and then they've gone on these massive runs. So that's why it's pretty interesting if we're going to be ready this Sunday because you said you
Well-
guys start off slow.
We do start off slow. But the thing is also, too, that championship game last year with the quarterback, that's why they got these new rule for quarterbacks now, to keep an extra quarterback due to the fact of what happened last. They can't – and that cost a lot. That cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it cost a lot of, people actually watching the game, stuff like that, because, You probably should have, with the concussions nowadays, you probably should have 4 quarterbacks signed on your roster.
Just available.
4 legit quarterbacks.
Yeah, not Josh Johnson. When he came in, I knew they were better off with no quarterback without him on the field.
They should have.
But what I was thinking, they tried, what I had faith in my team was it was still only 7-7 with like 3 minutes left at halftime with no quarterback. So that showed me a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, what are you expecting to see Sunday live when your team faces the Steelers? How do you think they're going to, match up? How do you think I figured they're going to run the ball. No.
I was just going to say, I think they're going to run the ball the left side a lot. And I think it's going to be fullback. You guys still run with a fullback, right?
Sometimes. We cut Derek Watt. We put Connor Hayward as a fullback / tight end. But he actually catches everything that's thrown to him. So that's the trick plays. So you're looking to run at us.
Run the ball.
Okay.
Purdy's going to keep it short, play actions. You're going to see a lot of rollouts, a lot of passings on the rollouts.
Well, he actually had a full practice. Now, what was wrong with him? Was it his shoulder or elbow?
For Purdy?
Yeah.
The elbow. From
elbow?
That game last year, yeah. Which he would have almost had a Tommy John surgery, which would have put him out the whole season. So he elected, because I think he knew this was his chance. If he don't play this year, because as long as there's a competent quarterback in that system, I think the Niners can win games. But I think Purdy,
based on the system.
The system, I do. As long as they're competent. I mean, Garoppolo was a winner. Look at him; he takes a lot of crap from people, and I think put him in the system, Purdy in the system. I think if Darnold had to step in, he would do okay. But I'm not taking anything away from Purdy at all, though.
Right,
he's definitely
Well,
the guy.
Well, Chris says Purdy isn't ready for that defense come Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to find out. That's the best part about it. As long as they make sure they block the edge rusher there.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Last year.
Chooks, and Dan Moore. They're going to have to double, triple team. I don't know what they're going to do. Or Hargrave is in the middle of that defense. Mm-hmm. So, and we got Mason Cole as our center. But the thing about the offensive line for the Steelers, though, I think they solidified with the signing of these offensive guards that they had, and Daniels guy from last year, and they signed that big Samoan dude from Philadelphia, Sumaloa or whatever his name is. Sometimes I mispronounce names. So he's very nasty. So we upgraded our line, but hopefully we can actually continue drives, especially against your 49er defense. You guys aren't no slouches.
No, and you're going to see a lot. I think signing Hargrave was because I think they knew they made a mistake letting Buckner, trading him to Indy, because then people had to give more attention to Bosa then, But now you got Armstead, Hargrave, Bosa. You're going to see a lot of just 4-man rushes all day. They're just going to sit back and let Purdy try to beat him. I think that's what you're going to see on defense. Cover 3, things like Hufanga might play the little Polamalu role. You might see him creep up at the line every once in a while. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of zone.
Hopefully.
4-man rush.
Yeah. We're going to see where Kenny Pickett can go. I mean, I like Kenny Pickett. Don't get me wrong. But I wanted a nose tackle at that draft. I wanted a nose tackle, and he went to the Davis kid went to the Eagles. So, and then Kenny fell on our lap. I mean, Kenny is hell of an off season, hell of a preseason, and he's got to make decisions quicker than he did last year, which I think we're going to see. And Chris says Purdy isn't ready for that defense. Purdy's going to have 6 turnovers, Benjamin says. Benjamin, how many joints did you smoke tonight, brother? I mean, 6, I don't know. I'll take 2 or I'll take 1. Give me 1.
And that's going to be the key. Don't turn the ball over, especially on the road in Pittsburgh early.
So how is your offensive line going to fare against Highsmith and TJ Watt?
Questionable. I think that's the question mark for the Niners is the offensive line. Yeah, the left side's going to be good, but it's very young on the right. Like I said, we're just plugging in guys now because it was either McGlinchey or Bosa. I think they paid the right guy for sure. Okay. What do you guys do a lot of? Is it you guys blitz a lot or?
Just on the outsides. Highsmith had 14 sacks. Now when TJ Watt got hurt, we were 0-6. Mm-hmm. We were just inept. But TJ Watt comes back. You've seen one player, probably just like you,
that
Bosa.
the change?
Yeah, it's one player changed the whole dynamics of the Steelers, and they come back from that bye week, and it was 7-2. And if we would have beat an AFC opponent, but we're 0-4 against the AFC East, we would have been in the playoffs. Now Burns says the Steeler fans, man, shut up. Steeler fans better be ready for Purdy and Bebo. Porter better start a fight with him pregame.
Okay.
Yeah, well, thanks, Burns.
State.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and just seeing how Kenny could go against this high-powered defense, though, too. But also, who do you got covering, say, George Pickens? And how's your secondary compared to the Steelers' wide receivers? Because the wide receiver stuff is not as top-notch in Pittsburgh as it used to be, but it's slowly getting there, and hopefully Dante can get a touchdown because he didn't have one last year at all.
Not bad. So, I know they spent last season trying to get the secondary up to par a little better. They got that Charvarius Ward from Kansas City, so he's the number one right now. So he'll probably be on Pickens. Is he the number one right now in Pittsburgh?
I would say, in my eyes, he is. Dante, now we had, Allen Robinson, coming over from the Rams. I think he's going to play some slot. That brings in some veteran leadership, which we need. But Dante not getting any touchdowns. I mean, how do you play in the NFL and not – yeah, he didn't have one fucking touchdown last year.
And that's
not
Johnson,
one.
Right?
Dante Johnson didn't have nothing last year.
And when you hear that name, I think of him as being one of your big top receivers.
Well, yeah, but I just – no touchdowns. The year before he had 10. He got in the Pro Bowl.
Okay.
And
that's
last
what
year,
I'm thinking
nothing.
of.
Yeah,
okay.
But nothing. So,
and
Pickens.
They got the Hufanga in the secondary.
Okay.
So that'll be tight end, middle of the field area. The good thing with the Niners is their linebackers go in coverage. So Fred Warner and Greenlaw, they're going to cover whoever.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They're coverage linebackers.
Okay, because I think we're going to use the middle. I think we're going to use more of the middle of the field now because our big tight end, Pat Freiermuth out of Penn State, is him and Kenny, connected.
He worked out
last
pretty
year.
well?
Yes. But he had a couple concussions also. Pickett had 2 concussions last year too. So, but I think when you get concussions, the more concussions you get, the lesser severity, but it's still not good. It's still not good.
Then.
Yeah. So, but I just think that, it all depends on how the defense is hungry.
Not going to be Purdy. I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Well, I've definitely told my brother, because he's diehard Steelers since we've been kids,
uh-huh.
that if Pickett goes out and does have a good game Sunday, win or lose, I think that's a real good sign playing the Niners defense right off the front. I think that'd be a lot to be excited about for Pittsburgh fans, win or lose.
Yeah. Well, I think I said a couple times that Kenny's probably looking at 23 to 26 touchdowns, but also too, you got to have Dante, scoring some of that. You just can't put it all on, George Pickens and Pat
They're going to start
Freiermuth.
figuring out Pickens. Not figuring out, I mean, they're going to give him more attention on the field.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. So, Mr. Colbert, Steelers will shock the world 23-20.
23-20. Okay, the last second field goal. Is that what he's saying there?
Well, I think so with Boz. I mean, Boswell is healthy this year.
Okay.
And
which
how's
is
your
Niners kicking situation? I was just going to say that's a whole other situation. I know they let Robbie Gould's still out there, free agent. I don't know why they never brought him back, but they drafted that Jake Moody out of Michigan, and he's been missing kicks. He's been hurt. They say he's going to play. They say he's going to play Sunday.
It's hard to kick down there, though. I mean, it's good that you're now. Could you imagine playing us? When it's cold out and your kicker is only limited.
No, not a chance. That's why I'm glad the game's in September. I don't want to sit there in the snow and the freezing.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I'm old. I saw Ben's last game. I waited like 2 hours. He was celebrating. I was up so high in the stadium. I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, if I walk down, I can't walk up because it was like straight up. Like, no, I'm like, I'm done. But let's get to how's your. I know you probably didn't see too much in the preseason of the return and the special teams, but your special teams is probably a strong component to your 49ers team Because you do got
Yes.
former Steeler Ray McLeod.
I was just going to say that's the other question on the injury report all week, because he had broken his wrist in the preseason, or not even preseason, maybe practice. But it was good enough that it was so long ago that they did list him that he was limited in practice or something. And Shanahan tends to play guys if they're hurt. Like,
oh, he does?
That chance, yeah. If you can play, he puts you on the field. It seems to be the case.
Yeah, because Ray, like the year he was with us, Ben was throwing to him all the time. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like he was catching like 3 or 4 balls a game.
I noticed last year they started using him more. Like when they would give Debo an end around or something, they started going to Ray more, which I noticed last year. So
well, that is one thing that we do have to stop, because Debo running those, he's tremendous.
Exciting.
Yeah,
I'm glad they let him locked up.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, see, our secondary is not as – we got Fitzpatrick, you know what I mean, Minka, you know, and we got Levi Wallace. You know, we signed, Joey Porter as our 32nd pick, but really any other year would have been a first-round pick, and he held out a little bit. He got his first interception in the preseason, and we got Patrick Peterson. So we got a little bit of veteran stuff, but I just don't know how – I think it's just going to be based on pressure we put on Brock. If we put pressure on Brock, the secondary can play up a little bit more. You know what I mean?
And that's what I
think that's what's going to happen, because you guys are going to run the ball.
They're going to run the ball, and they're going to try to do what you said. They're going to try to get those guys to step up, throw over their head. That's what they're going to try to do with Debo, Ayuk. Heck, Kittle. God, I hope Kittle plays. That's
he's
one.
Limited too. Yeah, and we have to tighten up. Now, we have our whole new inside linebacking core. Okay. So, yeah, we got Cole Holcomb. We got Landon
Roberts.
We got Quayne Alexander from the Jets. He was a Pro Bowler a couple years. We got
I was going to ask, was it a turnover where guys just left, or was it something
they didn't sign? They didn't sign everybody. They got rid of everybody. They didn't offer anybody contracts. They had Marcus Robinson, and he was the only one left over, and he's defensive coordinator Terrell Austin said he's probably not even going to play this year.
Oh,
like
okay. So that
was in preseason. They drafted him. He played a couple games last year, and then this year he's not even going to play. You know, and I'm not a big Terrell Austin defensive coordinator fan for the Steelers. And I'm
not.
The
one that took over for LeBeau? Is it the same guy, or was it?
It's the one that took over of Keith Butler was the defensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I really wanted Brian Flores, but Flores went to Minnesota.
No, that would have been a good signing.
Yeah, that would have been. It was a great. Yeah, because he was great with the linebackers, but our linebacking core last year in the inside, because we had Devin Bush, and Devin Bush couldn't catch a cold.
That's right, Bush. He had a lot of hype. Where did he end up?
Seattle.
Seattle,
yeah. Okay. So we weren't signing him, and he just didn't have it. He got injured, and he just wasn't. He was half the man that he was in that draft. And we traded up for him too. We got the wrong.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, we got the wrong Devin. Yeah, we got the wrong Devin. The other one went to he went to Tampa Bay. Devin was it White? Devin White.
The White. Yep.
Yeah, we got the wrong one. But with this new inside linebacking core, hopefully they're going to have to stuff the run. They're going to have to stop. They're going to have to stop that running attack.
McCaffrey, Mitchell, Juszczyk. Niners have some players. I mean, it's been a long. I've sat through some dark years there in the 2000s, so it's exciting. It's definitely exciting.
Well, especially that trade for McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't happy in Carolina, and all of a sudden he greener pastures, and he, on the back of him running, almost led him to the NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he became the best player in offense easily.
If you'd had a quarterback, so. Okay, so your kicking is limited. So hopefully
kicking
if it goes
questionable, yeah.
Okay, and our kicking.
Let's hope it doesn't come down to a field goal.
If it comes down to a field goal, the Boz is pretty good, man. And I call it Heinz Field, and I always will to the day I die. Askew Stadium, but the Boz last year had a couple. He had some injuries. But the dark years were the '80s for us, Burns. But now he's healthy. And if it comes down to kicking, Steelers got the edge because your kicker's limited, but also too, how's your punter?
He's a rookie. Punter's good. He's decent.
Okay.
Wishnowski, he was like a 4th round pick a couple years ago or something.
Well, we had the Ray Guy kick, award winner. proven Harsley the third, and he's supposed to do trick plays and stuff on special teams, and not one trick play Bazooka Joe has ever transpired.
Not at all.
So the hang time is not good. So our punting coverage, it could be a little better. I think the coverage is good, but the hang time or doing coffin kicks, stuff like that is not good. He'd get like 36 yards. That's not good. That is not good. Field position is very good for the other guys, so I don't want to see that. But also too, now our returns is Anthony McFarland's going to return kickoffs. And now they have that new kickoff rule, so I think they're just going to take it up to 2025. You know what I mean?
It seems like anymore.
Yeah.
Is he a running back, McFarland?
Yeah, he's our third. He's our third string running back. He got speed on the outside where Najee, will just go in between the tackles. But Najee got to get that average up. Like 4.6, 5.2 yards. So to keep the pressure off of third and long, especially against your guys' defensive front. Kenny's going to have to pull some magic out. And Kenny is just, studying and just, like I say all the time, in Kenny we trust. But this is a big challenge come Sunday at 1:00 on Fox.
And that's what that's what I've been telling my brother. I think it's a good challenge to start. Because the good thing is, no matter who wins or loses, it's really not – unless it comes down to a game, but your season's not ruined. You have the rest of the year to bam, with Pickett at least. And Purdy. I mean, you never know. The second year, he could come out and not be – I hope not, but
well, who's your backup?
That's Sam Darnold, the old Jet.
Oh, my God.
And he's already better around the league.
Yeah, he was better in college.
Yeah, he's one of them USC quarterbacks.
Yep. I think they played. I think they played Penn State and beat them that year. Yep.
Yeah, I think it was the Rose Bowl or something.
Yeah. He threw like 5 touchdowns. Yeah. So I mean, because you guys. Your guys' offense last year was you guys averaged 26.5, points per game. You guys were.
Purdy went in.
You guys were sixth in the NFL. Sixth in the NFL.
I think it was even 30 points a game from when time Purdy took over. So that's what they were. That's why they kept saying, "Oh, maybe we can make Bosa away because they can score points." But I didn't agree with that. So I didn't agree at all.
Well, the Steelers' defense last year was 20.4 points per game, and when T.J. Watt was in the lineup, we were 16.9.
So that's why whenever we do our predictions, I'm not expecting a 40 to 37 game.
No, Benjamin. No, well, we're not smoking weed and drinking beer. We're yeah, you know what I mean.
That's our audience.
Yeah. Well, they are probably.
Have fun.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant. Who's Mr. Irrelevant? Not me.
Brock Purdy. Which that's another interesting matchup. You got last year's first quarterback taken against the last one. Just all these little storylines I like to make when I watch games.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just hope that my keys. I'm going to go with my keys. My keys is we just need to run. We need to run the football against you guys, and we can't have a turnover, and it's got to be. I'd like to see a long drive. A long drive. The first series might set the tempo of the game for the Steelers. So I just. A little play action pass, I just see Canada doing some razzle dazzle, but if it's a jet sweep, I'm going to be pissed.
Take a shot first play.
Yeah.
Are you guys take the ball or kick it when he wins the toss? Does Tomlin have a thing, or is he?
Lately he's been like in the preseason, he's been. I think he's let the defense go on the field first.
Okay.
But because we have the ball in the second half because last year. I'm glad we got the ball in the second half because we couldn't score diddly, and we were not a first half team last year at all. So I think he always wants to have the ball in the second half.
Make the adjustments and come out and try to score, no matter the score.
Well, it's just when you're not scoring, and last year we weren't scoring, so we were averaging, I believe, offensively maybe less than 20. I mean, the most points we scored last year was the loss against Cincinnati where we scored over 30 points. So,
what was the final of that one?
Oh, it was 33-30. 33-30,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, and we lost, but that was the most we scored. And the year before that with Big Ben, we had 6 comeback victories. So, but also too, with Pickett has a little comebacks under his belt though. When he beat the Ravens, he beat the Raiders on the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. So he has a little bit of moxie, as a quarterback. But hopefully, like I said, if Dante scores a touchdown in the first game against you guys, I'll be singing praises. You know what I mean? He's already 100% better than he was last year.
Did you see improvement in Pickett throughout the year?
Yes, I went down to training camp. I did. I like what I saw, and I liked what I saw in preseason. But also too, I mean, in preseason they were scoring, they were doing 2 series, and he was out. So he had a quarterback rating of 146.6 or something like that.
Well, my thought on preseason, sure, like you said, it's just preseason. But I always say if you do bad in preseason, that's when you should worry. Like if you're going out there throwing picks in preseason, it's like, oh boy.
Yeah. Well, Mitch Trubisky was. I mean, we got a lineup in quarterbacks. We got Pickett, we got Mitch Trubisky, and we got Mason Rudolph. So the Pittsburgh Steelers in depth at quarterback, to me, probably have the strongest depth of quarterbacks probably in the NFL.
Because, I didn't know you still had Rudolph. I didn't realize he came back too.
He's down to the 3rd string quarterback. We had Tanner Morgan, the rookie, but they cut him. So, and nope, I don't think anybody wanted to pick up Mason, but I heard speculation that the Patriots rumors were looking for trading Mason as a backup. Yeah.
Well, they were ready to give him the keys, right? I mean, he was the plan at post Ben.
And then that concussion messed him up, and then taking a helmet shot to the head in Cleveland, and I mean, he just couldn't get. He probably has the strongest arm out of all 3.
Well, I remember we were talking about the last time they played that 24-20 game. He started. He played. I remember him playing real well.
Yeah,
Rudolph.
Well, and the last game he played against Detroit, they tied. That wasn't his fault. Freiermuth fumbled the ball, and I think Dante. People had 2 fumbles on 2 drives. It's not his fault. I mean, I'm not putting all my money in Mason Rudolph if we had to. I'm gonna chuck some money under the Pickett bus. You know what I mean? But that'll be something. But now with Boza, I'm a little worried with our tackles. Our offensive tackles are just, and that rookie.
They say he's ready.
I know. He's been training. He's been in shape. He's not going in. He's not eating 17 hoagies from Sheets and drinking a keg of beer and stuff. He's ready for, and he's definitely ready with 177 million reasons why.
He better be.
Because it's going to be, he's the defensive player of the year last year, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so he's going against the defensive player of the year prior. So, and I feel in my heart, because I'm a Steeler fan, but I mean, Pat McAfee put out this charity thing. If TJ Watt breaks the sack record, he'll pay him $500,000 to a charity.
Wow,
that's a lot of money.
Is that still like 22.5 or something, or 23?
22.5, because he tied. He tied with Strahan. Yeah. So I mean, those games against Cleveland, you know what I mean. So it'll be him and Boza, neck and neck.
That's another storyline. That's why I think this is a real underrated matchup for the national media. I mean, the 2 historic teams, I think. Maybe you had Dallas in there in New England. I mean,
this should have been a 4:00 game.
I agree, like the Americans game of the week or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Do you like 4:00 games or 1:00 games?
I'm used to 4, some more 4:00 because I'm so used to watching them now.
Yeah,
but people disagree so much. They're like, man, how do you watch 4:00 games?
Well, you got 4 hours of pre-gaming. That's what I like.
Yeah, that's true.
I like it. Yeah.
Is that what you like? 4:00?
Yeah, games? I like the pregame a little bit. 4:00 and then 4 to 8 and then whatever. But I mean Sunday. I mean this Sunday's going to be football all day.
Absolutely.
So I mean it's here. It's but then we got a Monday night game. So
I'll say this: the older I get, the more I hate primetime games. I'll tell you that.
I don't like 8 o'clock games
at night. No, not at all.
What about Thursday night games?
No.
Real quick.
They're sometimes the quality of the game isn't that good, and trying to rush off work, get to the game. Just I don't like primetime games in general.
I just hate Thursday games. I wish
Yeah.
Saturdays, back in the old days when they had the last 2 weeks, I
Yep.
was okay with that. Sunday and Monday, I'm fine because I think they're going to play football every night of the week here in a couple more years.
It feels like it, don't it? I
Yeah,
miss the specialness of Monday Night Football too.
there is no
That seemed,
specialness.
when I was a kid,
Yeah.
that was the game, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kevin says Thursday night games suck. Yeah, I don't like Thursday night games, and
Maybe
Pittsburgh's
Kevin.
does not play good on Thursday night games, and it was always been an Achilles heel for me to watch them because we used to get the shit kicked out of us by Jacksonville and Cincinnati and stuff like that back in these Thursday
Seemed like
night
for a
games.
while there, Jacksonville was like the Steelers' Achilles heel there.
Yeah.
Just during a couple years with Fred Taylor, those type years.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Mark Brunell. Oh my God, it was
Brunell,
rough.
yep.
Yeah, it was rough. So what are you afraid of being a 49ers fan,
Okay.
looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers now, because we talked about your 49ers, coming out against the Steelers. What are you afraid of that the Steelers could do to your team?
Getting the pressure to Purdy. That's what I'm worried about because I don't want him taking hits because I getting that elbow. But I like I said, I think the question mark's gonna be the Niners' offensive line. And if they get the pass rush and he starts making mistakes, turnovers. Cannot turn the ball over Sunday. That's probably my
Okay.
number one key. Cannot turn the ball over.
And who's your backup?
That's that Darnold again.
Okay,
Sam
okay,
Darnold.
okay.
Yep.
And then
So I
you only
think
have
it's
two. You
protecting
only have
Purdy.
two. You only have two.
The quarterbacks, the third
Yeah.
stringers, the Brandon Allen, since he's back up last year. He
Okay.
made the third string. That's who they traded. That's why they traded off Lance. Which Shanahan even said he would have beat out Lance for the third string. So I don't know
That's
what happened.
what a
there.
bust. What a bust that
You know
was.
what I mean?
Wow, that's
I never
unreal.
understood the pick. I never understood it to begin with because it was a project to begin with. The Niners didn't need a project when they had Garoppolo,
Uh-huh.
and he never played football. That Lance, even in college, they had the COVID year. He didn't play. I never liked the pick. Yep.
Wasted pick. Yeah,
I think
that
that's
was,
why Purdy does so well because he played 4 years, started 4 years of college football. Shanahan
Okay.
says it's his instincts that he really likes about him because I think he played a lot of football.
Yeah, I mean, he was making, he made a lot of press last year coming off being the last quarterback drafted and taking almost his team to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, not a lot of players have done that in the NFL history. You
No.
know what I mean?
It-
That doesn't happen.
It surprised
I mean,
me. I remember when
Yeah.
Garoppolo got hurt last year, and you might know this just being a diehard fan of a team. You're up so high, and when your guy gets hurt, Brock Purdy, I'm like, well, this season's over. It's silence for almost days.
Well,
You want to talk
Well,
about
that was mine when we had the double overtime in the first game against Cincinnati, and you see
Okay.
TJ Watt push off, and then you see him hold his bicep,
Oh,
and I go,
it's
oh fuck, he just tore his bicep. So I'm down in my basement having a fucking mild heart attack because I already
Yep.
know what happened. And then it
Season's
was
over.
like one player, and the dynamics change so much. One player changed. I never seen it before.
Was
I
that
could
the
not
difference
believe.
of
Yes.
the 2-6 start and the way they finished? TJ Watt's injury.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything with the backup that they had, who now doesn't. I don't even know if he's playing football because we traded from Denver. We signed him from Denver.
Okay.
Malik Reed or whatever. It sucked. He was
okay,
terrible.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
So
Malik Reed,
I
yep.
mean, just having the dynamics of Watt being on the field, the Steelers team dynamics changed from a pretender to a contender. Just that one player. And I've watched a lot of Steeler football, and I've watched a lot of football. Just one player. I mean,
outside
usually
of quarterback.
Yeah,
I agree
outside of a
with that.
quarterback.
Pass rusher,
Yeah.
man. Pass rusher,
Yeah.
I think, is the biggest position.
Yeah. I mean,
Offensive line, but yes.
and now we have backups to Highsmith and Watt to give him a rest, because people say that TJ's not going to go the whole season without getting hurt. Like I don't want to say that, but a lot of people around here have.
When's your
so,
bye week this year?
The 6th week, 7th week.
Okay.
Week 7 is our bye week, so it's a little too early, I think, for me. But I would like to middle November would have been better, but. I mean, I'll take whatever, because we're going to be the most traveled team in the NFL, because we got to go out. We got to go out to Los Angeles, go out to Seattle. It's just,
Is that the road teams you play in the NFC West?
yeah,
Seattle,
like we play
LA.
Seattle at the end of the second to the last game. And I hate playing Seattle. We haven't won in Seattle since 1983.
I believe it.
So,
It's a tough place to win. Even the Niners good years.
Yeah, you guys have the problems all the time.
Yep.
And your division, I mean, every game is crucial.
Oh yeah, out there in the West, and those Seattle games, even on a down year, Seattle could be 2-12, and they play the Niners hard, right to the end, up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Going up to that field.
Yeah, it's just this game Sunday. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it's and it's not. Yeah, I mean, this is a game where it's not like it's a rivalry. Like I'm gonna be mad, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just It's a classic NFL matchup, which both of us wished it was at 4:00.
Sure, 100% with you on that one.
Yeah,
4:05.
But I just hopefully that I always do like keys, and I'm thinking like 3 keys is the number one key now is blocking Boza with whatever we have. That is the first key. It wasn't a key like 4 hours ago.
And they moved him around left, right, and he's just pass rush.
That's the key. That is the key, and that will make the tempo of the game, and we probably will run away from them. I'm sure we'll have plays that, you know what I mean, because they've been practicing for them all week. Yeah, we'll go to the other side if I have to, whatever. I mean, but hopefully
give Tomlin credit there. He was smart. He thought he would be on the field to practice for him.
Yeah, well, hopefully I have my roller coaster ride with Tomlin. I just time management, and then for me, the debacle of having the killer bees and not getting any rings.
Man, and my brother and I were just talking about that the other day, how loaded those teams were. You just felt like they could. I mean, honest to God, and this might be pretty bold to say, but at one point I thought Antonio Brown was the closest thing to Jerry Rice. And that's legit,
not a bad statement. It's not a bad statement.
He was having 110 catches a year. I mean, he was unstoppable.
Yeah, he probably would have went down, besides not winning all those championships that Rice had, if he didn't go off the the hit by perfect and his little Facebook Live in the locker room, which is unheard of. You don't do that. I was like, what in the hell are you doing? And you got Tomlin in the background. We're going to go up to New England and kick their ass.
Yeah. You don't want that out there. They don't want New England hearing that.
No, and everybody heard it. And then we go to New England and we get our asses beat, like trying to gang tackle, Garrett Blunt, and then the whole team couldn't tackle him. He ran in for a touchdown. So, and then Bell didn't even want to play, he had a groin injury. So, I mean, it is what it is, and Murphy's Law.
Good, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I see Brown's trying to make up with everyone recently. You've been seeing that too.
But he's off his rocker sometimes.
Can't trust him.
No, and they had a thing where the yards and receptions, I think he was like number 12. He could have been easy to top 3. Easy. 2 years with Big Ben if he wouldn't have.
100%.
Easy. And he probably would have been, besides Jerry Rice, he could have been the greatest receiver in modern NFL times without having 4 championships like Rice. Because Rice, with those championships, make him a better receiver, because when it came down to it, Rice was a clutch receiver. You got to give Rice credit. So, yeah, it's a shame, but I mean, that's just how it goes.
And was that what it was? Just the egos that couldn't?
I think it was the egos. I think it was the hit to the head. I think he always was a diva, and Tomlin had like a genie in a bottle, and a genie got out, I think. And he just couldn't contain him, and because he was the only one that actually could contain him for so long. I mean, he went to New England, he went to the Raiders, he went to Tampa Bay. He got a ring, but he threw out Tom Brady like he was leftovers news.
That's right. He did get a ring down there.
Yeah, he did. He got a ring. Yeah, but he's still. You got Rice here, Brown here, but all his merits and him being his off-field antics is going to cost him getting into the Hall of Fame. So
I think Bell made the big mistake too, because he was that guy was the best running back in the league, or at least top 2 or 3.
Yep, he wanted to wrap and box. Yep, he should have.
How'd that work out?
No, he's wrapping and boxing on the 6th Street. Yeah, $35 million. He should have took it. So, okay, so so this is let's get to the nitty gritty here before we get out of here.
I'm ready.
I know you're picking. What's the score going to be And what do you think's going to happen Sunday?
I said it to my brother earlier because he was at when we were busting with my nieces and stuff. I told him somewhere around 26-17 or something, but I'm going to say 26-21 San Francisco. 26-21. And it's going to be good right to the end. How they get to 26, I have no idea.
Okay.
But I'll keep saying it. It cannot turn the ball over in Pittsburgh.
Who would be your MVP of the game that you're going to call?
McCaffrey.
Okay.
I think he's going to get the ball. I think because you said you guys are more of you got those linebackers now.
Right.
Switched up. Are they a lot of them going to be in coverage, like with the running backs?
They can coverage. They can. Oh, you got somebody. Brian Burns agreed with you on your score.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And it might even be low scoring. I mean, I was even thinking maybe 17-13, something like that. But first game, there could be some sloppiness if things aren't tightened up. Week ones, you never know. You really don't.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be like a big, huge shootout. That's not going to happen.
Not at all.
No. I would say probably – I would probably say
Bubba?
I'm going to say Pittsburgh, of course. I'm always –
absolutely.
Pittsburgh, of course. Probably I'm going to say 23-20 Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Probably on a late Boswell field goal to take it. But also, too, we're going to run the ball. And my player that I'm probably going to hope for and, disrupts the 49er defense is T.J. Watt. I think T.J. Watt. Yeah, because I think him and Kittle had a little bit of words in the offseason, I think, too.
Okay.
So if Kittle does play, they're going to – I guess Kittle was talking – they were talking schmack, either one of them were, you know what I mean? So that'll be another story to this
keep
epic,
adding them on.
Yeah. So if he plays and if he plays, he's scary. And we don't cover the tight ends good, and that could be something. But I'm going to go, like I said, 23-20.
23-20.
Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's not no blowout. No, there's no way.
No, and it sounds like both of us think it's going to be a good game, tough game, which I expect from these two teams. I think they match up well. Bosa, Watt, Purdy, Pickett.
Yeah, the quarterbacks, the running backs. It's good. And if Kittle plays, he's got the edge. I like Freiermuth, but he's got that edge on the tight ends on each team. He became Purdy's favorite target. If you look at the numbers, they went poof as soon as Purdy came in. He likes his tight ends. And I hope that Debo don't run on a sweep and go for 30 to 40 yards. I don't want to see that because I've seen it. I've seen it before. So, yeah, this is pretty cool, Superstar. Cool. I appreciate you coming on, man. Anytime you want to come on, let me know, man. And I know you used to do podcasts back in the day. Hopefully, it's something you get back into. And I know life is busy. Believe me, I know. Yeah. But, I'd
love to talk football with you, wrestling anytime. Let me know.
Okay.
I'd love to come on and talk with you guys. You were telling me about doing the pay-per-view podcast and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Talk with some of these other guys.
Sure. Yeah, your knowledge is vast, sir. So, but I appreciate
Bubba Brewer. That's you and Ken and Sean. You were the guys I was going to watch. I had no idea indie wrestling even existed, man. Not a clue.
Those were the days, brother. Now I've been down to tie my shoes, and it's I got to put Ben Gay on.
Well, I believe you. I use some roll-on stuff on my back. But I guess what's cool about it is here we are, 2023, to still be able to talk with some of you guys and still have those relationships. Oh,
yeah. The memories.
I appreciate them.
Yeah, the memories will never fade. And it's and for me, I get emotional seeing the guys that, you know what I mean, and you coming on. And, I always had high respect for you. And I always loved when you guys were the Wild West. Same. You guys were. You know what I mean? You guys are great,
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Keeping Jordan in check half the time was battle. Which I'm sure you know more than anyone else too.
Oh, it was good times. Yeah, Chris, I like this guy. Yeah, he's a good dude, Chris. Yeah, he's talking about you.
Hey, thanks,
and this is a Steelers fan.
Trust me. I got this weekend I got some hard feelings, but we'll get past Sunday. And then we're off to the Rams. Who do you got second? Who you got
Cleveland
week 2?
Browns. I have the Sheik
that's
coming
right.
on.
That's right.
Yeah, Sheik will be on. That'll be extreme. That'll be X-rated, and there'll be more F-bombs
can
floating
imagine.
around. And that'll be the time that YouTube will censor me probably because it's going to be before the game, so we'll probably be lighting it up.
Is that another 1 o'clock?
No, that's a Monday night game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, tell
Yeah.
Sheik I said hi.
I'll do
He was
that.
another
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he said you're not bad for a 49ers fan.
No, thank you. Hey, we're no right. We only see you once every 4 years. So
Yeah.
that's what makes it
So,
special.
yep. Okay, 23-20. You said, what'd you say?
26-21 we'll go with.
Okay.
26-21.
There
Odd
we go.
score, but hey, we'll get there.
Well, I tell you what, sir, it was an honor for you coming on the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show.
Thank you, Bubba.
And no,
Pleasure,
thank you.
honor.
No, it was awesome, brother. And hopefully, doing your your schedule and stuff, maybe you can come back on, maybe during the season or something like that, or because I know, like I said, I know everybody's busy, and I do appreciate people taking their time out to come on to the show. So, and I do appreciate you in and out, man. You've been always a class act, and you always been one of the good guys in the wrestling business and out. So
Thanks, Bubba. Same to you,
Yeah.
man. It's all mutual.
yeah.
No matter, wrestling, you hear, but I always was, how people treated me is how I treated them. I know that's cliche, but
Right.
you're a great dude, Bubba. I appreciate it, man.
Well, God bless you, brother. Everybody, this is the superstar, Dave Daniels from the 49er land.
No Niners.
Big diehard 49ers fan. Look at it. He's got everything there. And it's going to be one hell of a show come Sunday at 1. Have a good time down in Pittsburgh there, Dave.
Thank
Drinking
you.
Iron City. Drinking Iron City, brother.
Iron City. I don't know
Iron
if I ever
City,
had
man.
one. I'll have to try one.
Yeah,
That's
it's a real man's beer. Iron City.
All right, we'll try it.
Yeah. So
I don't
everybody,
think I'm
thank you.
driving, so.
Yeah, don't drink and drive. Everybody, thank you. Thank you to Dave Daniels. And you have listened to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty Week 1, Pittsburgh against the 49ers. It's going to be I wish they didn't sign Boza. I'm going to have to, drink a couple shots come Sunday at 1. So it'll be a good game. And I'll sleep good. And like I said, Dave, thanks for coming on, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bubba.
So here we go, everybody. Here we go. Later, everybody.